Today, we're going to talk about a crime that honestly feels like it's from another era, but it's making a huge, terrifying comeback. We're talking about check fraud, but a very specific kind that's so simple, it's kind of hard to believe it works. And believe me, it works. Reports of this stuff have absolutely skyrocketed. So, think about it. That last check you wrote, maybe it was for rent or a birthday gift for your nephew, you pop it in the mailbox and you just trust it's gonna get where it needs to go. But what if it doesn't? What if it ends up in the hands of someone who sees it as a blank check? Well, this threat has a name, check washing, and it's exactly what it sounds like. Crooks steal your check, and with chemicals you probably have under your sink right now, they literally wash the ink right off the paper. Everything you wrote disappears, except for one crucial thing, your signature. So, how in the world does this actually happen? How does your $50 payment for the water bill turn into a $5,000 nightmare? Well, the process is disturbingly simple. It all starts with mailbox theft. And you know those blue USPS boxes on the street corner? They're the prime target. Once a thief gets a handful of mail, they sift through it for checks. Then comes the wash, a quick bath in some solvent, and your writing is gone. And finally, the forgery. They put in their own name and a much, much bigger number. And then they just go cash it. And wow, look at this. This really shows you just how bad it can get. Your $75 check to the power company suddenly becomes a $4,800 payday for some criminal. And the really scary part? That's your signature at the bottom, making it all look perfectly legitimate. Okay, so that's the problem, and yeah, it's pretty scary stuff. But here's the good news. You can fight back, and it's surprisingly easy. So let's talk about your first line of defense, and that's all about how you mail your letters.
Listen, if you take one thing away from this, let it be this. Stop using the blue mailboxes. I really can't say it any plainer. They've become the #1 source for organized mail theft rings. They're just not safe for mailing checks anymore. Period.
So what do you do instead? Easy. The absolute safest thing you can do is physically walk your check inside the post office. You can either hand it right to the clerk at the counter, or if you're in a hurry, use the mail slot that's inside the building's lobby. Doing this completely bypasses the risk of street-side theft. Now, being smart about where you mail your check is a huge first step, but there's another layer of security that's so powerful and so simple, you're not going to believe it. It basically turns your check into a fortress that chemicals can't break, and it all comes down to the pen in your hand. It sounds a little too good to be true, doesn't it? I mean, how can a pen you grab out of a cup on your desk possibly stop a determined criminal? Well, the answer is actually some pretty cool and very simple ink chemistry. See, here's the difference. The ink from a regular old ballpoint pen, it just kind of sits on the surface of the paper. It's really easy to dissolve and wash away. But gel ink is a totally different beast. It doesn't just sit on top. It actually soaks into the paper fibers and bonds with them. It becomes part of the paper. So if a thief tries to wash it, they'll destroy the check itself. So is there a specific pen for the job? You bet. Security experts, police, fraud investigators, they all point to one pen over and over again, the Uniball 207. Its special ink is literally designed to prevent this exact type of fraud. It traps itself in the paper, making any attempt to wash it completely useless. All right, let's put it all together into a super simple plan. Your personal anti-check washing plan is just 2 steps. Step 1, mail your checks securely. That means walking them inside a post office. Step 2, write your checks securely. Always use a fraud-proof gel pen like that Uniball 207. That's it. 2 tiny changes to your routine that can save you thousands of dollars and a massive headache. You know, the whole reason check washing works is because it takes advantage of things we do every single day without a second thought. It makes you stop and wonder, right? What other simple threats are hiding in plain sight, just waiting for us to overlook them? Something to think about. Stay safe out there.